Hello and welcome to Rose Colored Glasses. My name's Nanette, and on this channel we explore divine feminine energies. It's not gender specific, it's just about the energies, and we all have masculine and feminine energies. And the idea is to use the feminine energies to create the life that you desire. They're the creative manifesting power. And so I do these pick a card so that you can connect with one of the goddesses or the feminine energies, and then you can use those energies to bring about that positive change for yourself. If you're returning to the channel, I so appreciate you and thank you. I hope you're using these techniques and things are shifting for you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope this information resonates with you and that you also use the energies to start creating positive change in your life. So today's a pick a card. It's just one card per pile, so you're welcome to stick around for all three cards because sometimes the message melds together and you can pick and choose the characteristics out of the energies that you want to use, or you can go to the specific card that resonates with you because there'll be sure to be a message for you. So we have card 1, 2, and 3. The goddesses are really easy to work with. You just call on them to imbue you with the characteristics that you're looking to bring more of into your life. So let me get started. If you picked card number 1, you have Ellen of the Ways. So she's also known as the Green Lady, Ellen of the Shimmering Ways, or Ellen of the Hosts. As her name describes, she rules the ways, the roads, the passages. So I think Ellen is here to remind us that there are paths for us. So, for instance, if you have a desire to be in the most loving relationship, there is a path to that relationship. The problem is that we get in the way of it because we feel like we need to effort, and because of efforting we pinch off the guidance to that path, and then we delay the gratification of receiving whatever it is we desire. So Ellen's here to remind us that if we just step out of our way, we'll be guided to the path, and as we go down that path, we'll be guided more and more till we reach the destination. And this works for anything you desire. So if you're desiring wealth, if you're desiring a better job, if you're desiring better relationships, whatever it is that you've put out there in the universe as your desire, a path has been developed to get you there. It's just a matter if you're open enough to receive the guidance to that path, or if you're trying to force the situation to come to conclusion. If you're trying to force the situation to come to conclusion, then you're not open to the guidance. And so Ellen of the Ways is here to remind us that the guidance is available for us if we just surrender and have faith that we're going to be guided. There have been numerous situations in my life where I have pushed against and pushed against and pushed against, like, oh, I have to get this done, like perseverance, that's the thing. If I just persevere and try harder, it's going to happen. And I was really pinching off the guidance that was available to me. I'm not saying that it's not a journey, that there's not a path to take, and that there's not things that you'll need to do, but the path, it has been adopted for you per se, and if you're open for the guidance, then you'll be guided on that path. And this isn't like something like wow, but like I manifested a high chair, and when I said to my grandson, I think we're going to need a high chair because he had been sitting in a bumpo and he was too big for it. It was just kind of, we were laughing about how silly, he looked in the bumpo because he was brimming over the edges of the bumpo, but he still wanted to sit in it. So him and I were having a good giggle over it, and I said, well, I think it's time for us to get you a high chair. And that day, at the end of the day, I was like, maybe I should go for a walk. That's my normal, like, get out of the house type of thing to do. And for some reason, that didn't sit well with me. I just didn't feel like that was the thing I was supposed to do. So I sat there for a while, and I thought, well, what interests me? Like, what would I want to do? And I thought, well, maybe I'll go get a chai. And so I'd have to get in my car and drive downtown to go get this particular chai that I like, chai latte. So I did that. And as I'm driving down the road, there's a high chair sitting on the side of the road. Of course, I just started laughing. I was like, is this real? Like, did this just really happen? I guess if it's there when I come back, then it's meant for me. And when I came back, it was there. It was in perfectly good condition and available for me to take. So it's that kind of guidance. Like, if I would have went out for my normal walk, I would not have, and I wouldn't have sat there for a moment to think about what sounded more appealing. I wouldn't have gotten on the road and seen the high chair. Now, that's a simplistic story, but it just shows you that we're being guided all the time towards things that we desire if we just allow for the guidance to occur. So I asked Ellen of the Ways to, you see the light in her picture there in her right hand. She's lighting the way. So ask her for the light, and for you to be able to recognize the light and be guided in the way that you're meant to be guided towards whatever it is that you desire. So that's Ellen of the Ways. If this resonated with you, please give me a thumbs up or comment, because it helps me know that you're connecting with this information. Thank you, and I really appreciate you. So if you chose card number 2, you have got talk to you. So you can see here that there's fields in the background of this picture. She's the Celtic earth goddess, and she was also called the Great One of Earth, and she's associated with grain, as you can see in the picture, and apples and grapes. Her association with grain is why I believe she's here today. So the association with grain is kind of like the association with abundance or with money. And she's here to let us know that there's abundance all around us. Like, we wouldn't necessarily look at a field of grain and think abundance, but it is. Or even just a field of grass, or all the leaves on a tree, or anything in nature is abundant. So she's trying to help us recognize the current abundance in our lives so that we can sit in satisfaction of the current abundance, so that we can create a magnetizing field to bring in more abundance. You really have to start recognizing what abundance is in your life. If there's any part of your life that is going really well, then there's abundance in that part of your life. Like, if abundance of clarity in things, abundance of knowledge, abundance of love, abundance of wealth, abundance of joy, abundance of fun, abundance of health, vitality, energy. Just about any area of your life, you can find some sort of abundance. So Talk to You is here to say, take a look at your life and see what area is working, and focus on that area and the abundance that is available there. And as you do that, other areas of your life will start to shift. If you're at an absolute loss, if the abundance is not showing up for you right now, if you just can't think of the area of your life and what that abundance is, then take a look at nature. Go outside and recognize, like, in just a square foot of grass, how many blades of grass there are. Or look at a tree and just try to figure out, like, how many leaves are on that tree. Or if you can find some fruit trees, like, just see the abundance of the availability of a food source like that. Or the pebbles in a stream. Like, there's abundance everywhere in nature. And so if you're struggling to find some abundance in your life, then start going out into nature daily and recognizing the abundance in nature, and things will start to shift for you. But I do encourage you to try to look for what is the abundance in your life and what area of your life is going well, and celebrating that area of life, because as you do that, then you're shifting things up and for yourself to then be able to draw in more like situations to create abundance in other areas of your life. So you can call on Taltu to help you recognize those areas of abundance. For me, I love to cook food, and so right now there's good harvest on fruits, and so I'm really enjoying working with all those fruits. And so to me, there's an abundance of flavors, an abundance of opportunities for me to create something fun and different in regards to food. I mean, I get a delivery of fresh fruits and vegetables every other week, and this last week I got plums, and I really wasn't sure how to use the plums, but I want to use them. They're delicious, and I just didn't want to just eat them. So I created a salsa with the plums to put over my salmon salad, and it was amazing. It was probably one of the best fruit salsas I have ever had, and I would have never thought to use plums, but I had so many of them in my box that I needed to figure out a way to use them. And so I had an abundance of fruit, which created this awesome potential for this fruit salsa. So start shifting your perspective on your life in regards to where abundance is showing up for you, and start appreciating where it is showing up for you, and that will open the potentiality for it to show up in other areas of your life. So that's Taltu, and she's here to remind us of the abundance that is flowing everywhere, and especially in nature. So thank you for being here. If this resonated with you, please give me a thumbs up or a comment. It helps me know if you're resonating with the information. So the third card, if you chose the third card, you have got Olun. I really just like how she's depicted in this card. She's the Welsh flower and sun goddess. One of the interesting things about her is the idea of not perseverance, but really stepping into your power. And I love her stance on this card, because there's, if you're wanting to do something, let's say public speaking, because that's one thing that most people are a little afraid of, but yet it can be super powerful in regards to in regards to your business or anything else you want to do in life. So if you're getting ready or you're wanting to do some public speaking, but you have this great fear of it, if you stand in what's called the power pose, which she's almost doing it in this picture, it's like an X. So your arms are out like an X and your legs are out. And that pose is supposed to generate more testosterone, and both male and females have testosterone, and testosterone gives you that feeling, I don't want to say of invincibility, but it's kind of that feeling of invincibility, that feeling of power, that courage to take the step into public speaking or whatever it is you're doing. If you're going on an interview for the job of your dreams and you want to have that hyped up feeling to go into that interview to really show your talent, then you can stand in that pose. I wouldn't recommend doing it in the interview, but prior to your interview, you can stand in that pose. And then as you enter for your interview, you will feel more energized and more powerful and more invincible. And so then you can deliver your message in a way that can help you achieve your desired goal. Now, if you can't stand in the X, the Wonder Woman pose has a similar effect. So that's still with your legs apart and your hands on your hips. So it's similar to the X. It's still a power pose and is supposed to generate testosterone. So I think Olun is here to remind us of our power. We are very powerful beings, and for whatever reason, we have lost that connection with that part of ourselves. And she's here to remind us that it not only exists, but that we can connect with it. And by doing that power pose, I believe you can start to feel that connection coming back. So even if you're not going into an interview or doing something that you need a little bit more courage for, like public speaking, just try the power pose just to start feeling that connection, just to start connecting back to that courage and that power and that feeling of invincibility. And as you do, then it will make it easier for you to step into things that you desire to do in your life. And it's really important to have that sense of security, that sense of courage, that sense of power as you create the life that you desire. And so that's what she's really here to tell us, is that we can have the life we desire. We just need to step into it, and maybe doing the power pose will help you start feeling that connection to that power and help you be able to step into the things that you would need to do to create the life that you desire. So that's Olun, and she's here to remind us of our power and remind us that we need to start connecting back to that power. And one of the ways to do that is to call on her and then stand in the power pose to start creating that chemical change in our body that connects us to that power. And really feel into it. Like, what does that feel like? And how wonderful is it? And what could you do with that? And what kinds of things could you achieve when you are in that feeling? And really start using it to your benefit to create magical things in your life. So that's Olun. I hope this resonated with you, and if it did, please give me a thumbs up and or comment so that I know that you're resonating with the information. I really appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and bye for now.